2. Hello everybody, it's Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Thanks for joining us here on YouTube. Be sure to check out RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com for everything Royal Caribbean related. RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Welcome everybody. Happy Monday. Gotta love that day. Thanks for joining us here on YouTube. You know, guys, when we're not live, we're over at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, so check that out as well before this video. After this video, heck, I even give permission to open it during the video. Why not? RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, and we've got our friends already joining us in here. Hello, Sophie Burns. Hello, Pat Jeffrey. Pat, I think you were our first chatter in. Kenny K, what's up, dude? Grace is here. Hello, Kate B. Sharon Stockman. How are you, Sharon? Welcome. Jivan is here. Welcome, Jivan. Larry, hello. Ron Ladowski, what's going on? Carlos is here just to hear me sing. Listen. I gotta warm up the vocal cords. Me. Lucy Anderson, hello. Michael S. is here. We've got Caitlin Anderson. Hello. Lawrence Lindquist. Robert Jaworski. Good day, Mike. Matt M. Hello. Nathan. Hello. Mark Hunter. Hello. Mike Pastori. Hello. Money Love is in the house. Hello. Hope from Philadelphia. City of Brotherly Love. Nicole Sexton, hello. Travis, hello. Melody, what's going on? Donald Aiken, John, Joe, and Griffith is here. Kaylee Montgomery, finally made alive. Welcome, one and all. My name is Matt. I am from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, and I'm here to talk about the most important thing in the whole wide world. Like, guys, there's lots of other things happening in this world. It's second in comparison to Royal Caribbean Cruises. Oops, sorry for hitting my mic. I got so excited. I hit the mic, but yeah. We're talking Royal Caribbean. We're answering your cruise questions. So whatever's on your mind about Royal Caribbean, let's talk about it in chat. And boy, lots happened since the last time you and I talked over here. Bobby and Christy are here. Jimmy from Puerto Rico, buenos noches. Ken Lesko, hello. Axel says, have you ever been on Independence of the Seas? What are Freedom Ship class like? Yes, I went on Independence before her refurbishment, Axel. I went on her for Thanksgiving. I don't know, 2015, something like that, 2016 maybe. Freedom class ships are a lot of fun. I really like it. The Freedom class ships are really one of the best values out there. They offer tremendous experience, lots of great value. And Independence recently got refurbished, Axel. In fact, India was the first Royal Caribbean ship to be refurbished, and that's important because that added a lot of new features to that ship. So. If you have any concerns about that, I wouldn't at all. Ocean Time is here. Do I detect? Good night, Peppa. Welcome. Good to see you here. Let's see here. When will cruises continue? I'm a crew member from Royal Caribbean. Well, welcome. Unfortunately, no one knows. It's just impossible to know that. You know, earlier today, Royal Caribbean had an earnings call with Wall Street analysts about that exact question, among other things, and they basically said that it's just too hard to predict. You know, it looks like if there was going to be a place cruising was going to start up first, it could be, possibly, China and Australia, or Australia, I should say, either or none of them. It's really too hard to know. I think what they're dealing with, Royal Caribbean is trying to deal with, is just trying to predict one of the most unpredictable viruses we've ever encountered. Not the answer you're looking for. Greg, what's up? Ahoy from New York's North Shore on Long Island. Welcome. Glad to have you here. April, is Royal Caribbean selling in Australia and New Zealand right now? No. They currently, it's possible. There's an article I have up on RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com from earlier today in which Royal Caribbean said it's a possibility that Australia might start up sooner than other places. We've got Cindy from Dallas. Welcome. Carlos, thank you for your positivity. During the pandemic, it's what keeps me sane during the cruise. Hey, man, we are here. You guys are my friends. We are here to hang out, talk Royal Caribbean. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it is lightning and thundering. Yikes! Right outside my window. Like, super yikes. But we're here as long as the internet and the power hold up. But you guys are my friends here. I'm not here for doom and gloom. I'm not here to throw every rumor you've ever heard or might have heard at you. Just, you know what I mean? It's about us hanging out, having some, I think, practical conversations about Royal Caribbean cruises. Laurie, I'm starting to get really down about when we'll be able to cruise again. How do you keep your spirits up? It's a good point, Laurie. And listen, I'll be honest, I have encountered those same doubts. I've encountered that, whoa, we've been like suspended here for a while. And by the way, I don't say there's no end in sight, but there's no end in sight. But, you know, the metaphor that says it's always darkest before the dawn, is true. And I think that eventually it will turn that corner. I think there's a lot of things that are happening. And I think that if we've learned anything from all of this, it's that it's really hard to predict what's going to happen. And I think you'd be foolhardy to actually be able to say, yes, we know what's going to happen, 3, 6, and 9 months from now. So I'm confident cruising will return. The question, of course, is when. We don't know that yet. But I'm also hopeful that as we get a little bit closer, we're going to be able to see them turn that corner and see movement in that direction. So let's keep our fingers crossed on that. Sharon Stockman with a giant epic super chat. Woo! Thank you, Sharon. Paid off my Christmas 2020 cruise today so that if they're not sailing yet, I'll get the 125% future cruise credit to apply for my back-to-back next Christmas. Nice. Can you guys hear the thunderclaps? It feels like it's right outside my window. I should get a new boom mic for outside. Anyway, Sharon, thank you for your generosity. And listen, you're doing exactly what I would be doing, Sharon. Every cruise I've got coming up, I pay it off. And hey, if it works out, we're able to go on the cruise. Awesome. And if not, hey, it's onboard. It's bonus future cruise credit you can turn around and use from there. So, good evening, Chip. Welcome. Mrs. Thomas with a super chat. Thank you, Mrs. Thomas. After having an earthquake here in North Carolina this past weekend, I believe that anything can happen. Keep your head up, everyone. There you go. You never know, right? Yeah, let me rewind that. Mrs. Thomas with the super chat. Thank you. And you're absolutely right, Mrs. Thomas. You cannot predict these kinds of things. That's right, Tim Gallagher. And the thunder rolls. That's the only part of that song I know from Garth Brooks. Happy Monday, Tiki Bell. Welcome. Nathan, are you sad that the Oasis of the Seas Bayonne sailings are all canceled? Brother, I am sad that all the Royal Caribbean cruises are canceled because I think we all had these dreams of going on a cruise this summer. And for many of us, myself included, maybe even more than one, right? So we're going back to spring break and, we're looking at really, it's going to be, but we haven't quite reached there yet, 6 months of no cruises, with many more to go, unfortunately. So yeah, absolutely, Nathan. Absolutely. Sarah Baker, what's going on? Welcome. We got Jay Wanderman here. Hello, Jay. The GOAT, what's up, dude? Oliver, out of curiosity, where'd you get that Royal Caribbean Monopoly behind me? It's actually a gift that Royal Caribbean gave to travel agents on Independence of the Seas a couple of years ago. It wasn't ever given to guests, like it was never sold to guests. It was kind of a party favor, if you will. And I got my copy off eBay. And you can also get a copy off eBay if you're eagle-eyed and are willing to spend some money. Kyle Davis, what's a super chat? It's that, you see where you type in your message, right below it, there's a little dollar sign. It's like the tip jar. You can use that to, number one, highlight a message to send to me, and number two, be able to show your support for what we're doing over here. If you're enjoying it, or you like it, or you want to hear me sing, or not sing, it's been used for both, there's an opportunity for you. Andy, the cruises may be canceled, but the dream lives on. Absolutely. Guys, we're here to, this is as much about answering questions as it is a cruise support group meeting, right? This is a way for all of us to kind of come together. Well, I would say put our arms around each other, but social distancing, but we're virtually doing it, so it's okay. Put our virtual arms around each other, and this, I don't want to say necessarily we're saying kumbaya, but we're kind of, we're all in this together, right? We're all in this together. Michelle, I booked a cruise today for next week out of Kingston, New York, sailing the Hudson River. Like the water taxi? Or is that like one of those, like, are they offering those, Michelle? I know what you're talking about. Like those like, there's a better word for it, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Like those like booze cruise that goes around the Hudson River? That's pretty interesting. They're allowing that, but awesome. Let's see here. Goat, perfect day is lit. Yes, as the children say, that is correct. Tiki Bell was supposed to went on Indy in 2017, loved it, was supposed to go in May, but rescheduled in January on Oasis, feeling positive about it. Good, I'm glad to hear that. Robert, nothing like an evening lightning storm while at sea. Oh, memories. It is kind of cool when you see it off the distance. Yeah, it's just weird because in Florida, you usually get in the afternoon, not so much the evening, but here we are. Kyle Davis, thank you, been following your videos. Trying to get caught up, booked my first Royal Caribbean cruise for May on your honeymoon. Congratulations. What a great way to celebrate your honeymoon. I did my honeymoon on a Royal Caribbean cruise. I turned out okay. I got kids that turned out okay. You're off to a great start there. Love that, my friend. I'm glad you're able to find us here, Kyle. By the way, if you are, if this is your first time catching me live on here, type type new in capital letters so I can personally welcome you for your first time here. Randy Patrick with a giant epic super chat. Woo! Randy, the good news is it's only 466 days till the Harmony Group Cruise Thanksgiving. Randy, I can't wait for that one, my friend. Turkey, stuffing, and a whole heaping of my friends on a cruise together. And oh yeah, back on board a ship. And oh yeah, drinking. And oh yeah, visiting awesome places. And oh yeah, not at work. Love it. Awesome. Kyle, welcome. Jabuni, welcome. Umberto, welcome. Jordan Reed, welcome. JJ Lou, do you like the direction your podcast is heading? The Royal Caribbean Blog podcast? Yeah, absolutely. I think it's been a nice change of pace to be able to do the cruise stories. We have a great one coming up for you this week, in fact. Bougie with a super chat. Speaking of new cruisers, welcome, Bougie. Please ask the Magic 8 Ball if my honeymoon cruise will happen in February. All right, Magic 8 Ball. Oh, sorry, guys. Magic 8 Ball. Bougie wants to know if honeymoon will happen in February on his cruise. Magic 8 Ball says, don't bet on it, comrade. Not comrade, I added that part. It says don't bet on it. Duh. Is not good news. Sorry, Pooji. I feel like this Magic 8 Ball is brutal, man. It doesn't take prisoners. It's not like, oh yeah, everything will be fine. No. All of the time, it's always bad. Kim Oakland with another epic super chat. Woo! Kim with another countdown for me. 340 days on the Norway group cruise. Kim, did you see that? I don't know if you're part of the Norway group cruise Facebook group I created on Facebook, but I shared a video of some of the Norwegian fjords. Oh my goodness, I can't wait for this cruise, Kim. Oh, I'm so excited. Europe, Norway, fjords. Oh my. Oh, I'm so excited. Benjamin Berger, when was your first ever cruise? My first ever cruise was in the late 90s on the Disney Wonder. One of my sisters, I don't remember who, was having a birthday, if I'm not mistaken, and she was dying to go on a cruise. And like, everyone's like, really? You want to go on a cruise? So we picked Disney because we always like going to Disney World, so that seemed like a good bet. And yeah, it was late 90s. I don't remember exactly which year it was. I was still in high school for sure. I was not in college yet. So we went on that. And my first Royal Caribbean cruise was in 2006 on Explorer of the Seas. And then we went big. We wanted to go on Oasis of the Seas. And that was actually why, that Oasis cruise is why RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com started. Because I was so excited for my cruise, I wanted an outlet for it. And I came up with the idea for Royal Caribbean Blog. Henry Joseph, hi Matt, with all these cancellations, do travel agents have to give the money back to Royal Caribbean? By the way, where can we get a Royal Caribbean Blog t-shirt? Henrik, you can get a Royal Caribbean Blog t-shirt at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.shop, S-H-O-P. So RoyalCaribbeanBlog.shop, you will find it right there, my friend. And the good news for travel agents is Royal Caribbean is protecting their commission. So ordinarily, you'd be right. The only way a travel agent gets paid ordinarily is when you go on the vacation. You go on the cruise. Once it's done, they get paid for it. That's to ensure they're not just booking a bunch of people. People cancel and the cruise line pays them, right? You pay the finder's fee. People come in the door. Okay, this money's for you, right? Well, with all the cruise cancellations, that would mean nobody get paid. But Royal Caribbean stepping up to the plate, doing the right thing, and they've been since the very beginning protecting agent commission. So at the very least, if your cruise is canceled, Royal Caribbean still pays the travel agent, which is really good news. Ooh, whoa. Yeah, this storm is getting real now, guys. The storm is getting real right there. Crazy weather, Jenner, dude. It is like, I don't know if you guys saw the light go. So if the stream drops out, if I just instantly disappear, I apologize. But yeah, it is what it is. So, Margaret, today I was supposed to sail on Empress of the Seas, New England, Canada. Oh no, man. I wish you could have gone on that cruise, my friend. I really, really do. There's so many of us, and myself included, that we know that feeling all too well. Let's see here. The GOAT, you don't have to type the same question, or the same comment, just, once is good. I'll read it. Joanne Griffith. Wow, that was a big one. Yeah, absolutely. Typical Jack, can you ask the Magic 8 Ball if my group cruise in March 21 will happen? Please, it was my dream cruise. Okay, you asked for it. Magic 8 Ball. Typical Jet wants to know if American group cruise in March 21 will happen. It is big deal for this person. What do you say? Magic 8 Ball says no or on. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it is a straight no. Magic 8 Ball is upset. Yikes, guys. Bayron, does Royal Caribbean do anything for first-time cruisers? Nothing inherent, no. They certainly welcome you on board, but no. Is the new power company in Florida plunder and loot? What's up, Jonesy? Hope you're doing well. Kim, don't stay online. The storm is too bad. We don't want you to fry your computer. No, it'll be fine. I've got surge protectors. I'm not worried about that. Even though all our power lines are underground and there shouldn't be an issue, too close of a hit, and that's it. So, time for a new Magic 8 Ball. Devin and John Lally, you are not. Flush the 8 Ball. Man, you guys are. Listen, the Magic 8 Ball is taking no prisoners today, but you guys aren't taking anything from it either. So, Bayron was hoping for a cabin streamer or something. Oh, for like a new cruiser. No, they really don't. I'm really trying to think, but unfortunately, other than a thanks for coming, no, not really. So, Rivera Marquez, when the Freedom of the Seas return to San Juan, I have a reservation this November, and we want to know if we have to make the last final payment this August. Yeah, I know you're in a weird situation, because on the one hand, let's be honest, it doesn't look very good that maybe that cruise will happen. But if your intention is to still go on the cruise, if Royal Caribbean were to come to you tomorrow and say, we're going to have that cruise, you need to make final payment. If you do not make final payment, you will lose the reservation, and worse yet, you'll lose out on any benefits you'd be getting, additional benefits, if Royal cancels on you. So my advice is, number one, if you want to go on the cruise, make final payment. Even if you have a pretty good feeling that money's just, you're sending it out, it's like a boomerang, right? Robert Jaworski from Australia knows this concept very well. You throw it, and it comes back to you eventually. Well, that's it, but at least you'll get some extra onboard credit for your trouble, future cruise credit, I should say, for your troubles. So maybe that's the, if that's the thing. So yeah, if you want to go on the cruise, make the reservation. But if you skip the final payment, you're in a bad state. Don't do that, especially for the people in your group. Jared wants to know, how's the Ultimate Abyss slide? A lot of fun. I remember going on the Ultimate Abyss on Harmony for the first time, and I was scared. I was like, oh man, apprehensive is probably the right word, right? It's tall, it looks mean, it's not lean. I didn't know what to expect, but it's not nearly as fast as you might think. You think you go in that thing and it's like, whoa, it's like 10 decks. It's gonna be this like, your cheeks are gonna go like Richard Nixon mode, right? You're gonna start like, oh, I'm not a crook. But it's not like that at all. You are going to really be finding it a lot less intense than I think you're anticipating. So it's a lot of fun. It's worth it. The only thing with the Ultimate Abyss is keep your arms in so you don't because if any part of your body hits the side of the slide as you're going down, you get a nasty rug burn. Virginia Swan with 10 quid. Thank you, Virginia. Appreciate that. Nothing but sports. Is it true Royal Caribbean is doing a 2-day trip to Coco Key? They have offered that. Actually, one of my canceled cruises was a 2-night cruise on Independence of the Seas. They do not offer it regularly, Nothing But Sports, but it has been known to happen. That being said, it's been canceled because of the whole pandemic, so. Sarah, is the Lift the Ship promo still on? Absolutely. Keith wants to know, has anything changed on the recruise date? I'm not sure what you mean by recruise date, but I'm pretty sure, regardless of what you mean, the answer is still no. So. Lucille, when's the best time to buy Coco Key Thrill Water Park tickets at the best price? Great question, Lucille. What you want to do is actually book it now. Yeah, by booking it now, you lock in the price. If there's a better price tomorrow, Lucille, or next week, you can always cancel and rebook with no penalty instantly on Royal Caribbean's website. You might be saying, well, Matt, why don't I just wait? And if there's a better price, I'll book it then. If not, I'll book it, obviously closer to our sale date. And the reason why you don't want to do it that way is sometimes the price goes up. So booking it now locks in your price, protects against a price increase, but still allows you to cancel and rebook if there's a price decrease. Hope, where'd you get your posters from? eBay. eBay. Richard Nixon mode, you're too young to remember that. It's on the History Channel. We saw slides on that in high school. By the way, guys, if you aren't already, I think many of you are, most of you are, but I want to say that if you're not already, make sure you subscribe to our channel. And it always surprises me, people coming in here who are not subscribers, but if you aren't, subscribe to the channel. It's free to do so. Basically what subscribing does is YouTube will let you know when I have a new video or even a new live video. So yeah, definitely do yourself a favor and sign up for that. Mrs. Thomas, what's my favorite dessert in the main dining room? Coffee ice cream. I'm a classic kind of guy. Coffee ice cream. Bayron, on Symphony of the Seas, they have the Rubicon. Is there any other activity event that is pay to play? You can rent out certain activities like the Flow Rider. That costs extra, but ordinarily on its own, it's complimentary. Other than the escape room on Symphony, right? Yeah. Bayron, that's a good question. I'm trying to think if there's any other... I mean, obviously you have things like the spa, but I know what you're talking about. You're talking about, like, activities. If your kids stay at Adventure Ocean, Bass 10 o'clock, that will cost you extra. The nursery costs extra. Sometimes they offer special events like in the theater, like you get special seating and meet the cast backstage. That costs extra, but these are really kind of minor things. Soggy Frosted Flakes with the super chat. Thank you, Soggy Frosted Flakes. Thank you. Soggy Frosted Flakes writes, we rebooked our cruise on Symphony out of Miami to Allure, out of Port Canaveral. Would you stay in Orlando the night before or Port Canaveral? I'd look at both. I would look at prices for both. There's a lot more choices in Orlando, and it tends to be a little bit cheaper in Orlando, but of course, Port Canaveral is super convenient. So I wouldn't limit yourself to Port Canaveral only. You know, Cocoa Beach, I was actually just talking to a friend of mine, Scott Sanders from the Disney Cruise Line blog about this, because I really found like hotels in Port Canaveral are really hit or miss. There's some really good ones, some others that are like, glad we're only staying here for the night. But I will tell you that I would look at both, but don't pay top dollar to stay in Port Canaveral, because it's only about a 45-minute drive from Orlando, and there are so many great hotels in Orlando, and oftentimes at a better price, and and you're probably flying into Orlando anyway. It's not like it's, you know, that much of a there's not that much of an advantage by staying in Port Canaveral. That's all I'm saying. Kim Oakland, even better, become an insider. Kim, you are an excellent friend. Someday I will repay you, Kim, for all this, but thank you. And Olizio says, we did that last summer, staying in Orlando, and price for hotels way better there. I have experienced that as well. Stephanie wants to know, do you think we will cruise this year? Do you mean anywhere in the world or here in the U.S.? I think there's a chance. I think there's probably a good chance of a Royal Caribbean cruise starting up by the end of this year. I could be wrong on this, but I can see it happening somewhere in the world, whether that's China or Australia. It's so hard to know, guys. That's the problem. Next question is from... By the way, guys, quick note. I want to answer as many questions as I can. So give me, post your question. Give it about a minute. If I don't get to it, post it again. But don't post 8 times in a row. That's all. I will get to them all. Or as many as I can. Next one, Carlos with a super chat. Thank you, Carlos. If my November cruise gets nixed, what happens if I can't find a similar cruise next year during the same months? Currently no 7-night cruise October, November. You could take the 125% future cruise credit. Lift and shift is nice, dude. No question about it. But the future cruise credit is always there as an option, so you can take that and book anything you wanted. Next question is from Captain's Table Main Dining Room. What's up, dude? What do you think of Royal Caribbean opening their cruise gift shops online so we can buy some of the logo items to keep us all excited to return? I love that idea. I think they should do that even if cruising is happening. Because, guys, who here wouldn't want to have the opportunity to buy certain Royal Caribbean merchandise we see on board the ship? I don't see why they wouldn't. I mean, they still have this stuff. It's not like it'd be that much of a lift, I would think, to offer it. But, yeah, I love that idea, dude. Andy, is Spectrum of the Seas on your bucket list? Sure, I'd love to go on every Royal Caribbean cruise at some point. Tukes, what is lift and shift option for changing my cruise? It just simply has to be the same itinerary, same length, same itinerary. I'm missing one thing, guys. I forgot and of course it has to be the next year. A year from now, plus or minus 4 weeks, like 4 weeks before, 4 weeks after, up to. So, Kenny, when do you pick schedule the group cruises? You know, part of it, Kenny, is I wait for Royal Caribbean to, number one, to put out the new itineraries, right? And unfortunately, Kenny, Royal Caribbean, I say unfortunately because you're going to understand in a second, Royal Caribbean puts out their itineraries usually in 2 phases, one in the fall, one in the spring. And so obviously the fall is coming up first, right? The problem is if I go with what's in the fall, I'll look at what's there. I definitely will look. If something jumps out to me, I will make it that group cruise. Or I might say, nothing really jumps out. Let's see what's going to happen in the spring and get the rest of those 2022 sailings out there. And you never know. But it's one of those things where I really, Kenny, I just look and I find what jumps out at me. Is there something that's obvious? Is there a new ship that we can go on? Is there a really cool itinerary I've always wanted to do, right? Is there just something that sounds like a lot of fun? And it's in a good time of year that I think a lot of people would be able to join me for it. So that's kind of how it works. Yeah. Best food to try in Wonderland, Paul. Baked Alaska dessert. The lamb thing is really good in the entree. Try all the appetizers. They all sound weird. They all look weird. They're not nearly as bad as it looks. Promise. CPATVing. I usually seem to have had a time getting them to bring me a second cup of coffee after dessert in the main dining room. Maybe it's because I'm always first seating and they're needing me to move along. You know, what I would tell you to do, and this is, obviously, they should be able to be like, this guy wants another cup of coffee. But let them know. Say, on day one, hey, by the way, I really want to have 2 cups of coffee. Or can you bring a kettle and just leave the pot there so I can fill myself? That's fine too. But let them know, when you bring dessert, I'd like to have a cup of coffee, and I need one more before I go. That's all. And usually they're pretty good about that. So that way you're not leaving it to chance. Some waiters are better than others. Some are more perceptive than others. Some are less busy than others. That's also sometimes they really do want to do these kind of things where they're just pulled in 8 different directions at once. But I think that you can absolutely get it. There's a lot of time between first and second seating. So I wouldn't worry necessarily about that one. Scott J says, we need a Panama Canal group cruise. Guys, if you want to go on a Panama Canal group cruise, type me, M-E, in capital letters right now. I'm curious how many other people would love to use. I think it's a great idea, but I'm just curious if you guys feel the same way about that, because I think it's a great idea. Next question is from Virginia Swan. I booked Onboard in 2019 for 2020 with the added bonus money to spend on board, but as I've moved to 21, they won't honor the extra credit on board. The question I have, I booked Onboard 2019. Where did you get the onboard credit, Virginia? And I know you got from Royal Caribbean. Was it a promotion like when you booked in 2019 for 2020? Was it like a sale and they were like, book it now, 60% off second guest, and $100 onboard credit? Did you get the onboard credit from next cruise? Okay. I just looked at chat again, and I think everybody in here wants to go to Panama Canal. Kenny writes, me, but taking the wife might be tough. Tony says, me, you, group cruise. Just the two of us. We can make it if we can. Just the two of us. Excuse me. A lot of people love that. I agree. It's definitely on a bucket list right there. Anne Marie, is Odyssey still on schedule as far as finishing the ship? Booked for May 21 if we can go. Wondering if the ship will be ready. It has already been, you may already know this, Anne Marie, but Odyssey was delayed. I think you're okay because it's going to be getting in Europe. The delay, I think, has less to do with the ship being ready as it is Royal Caribbean having the money. Royal Caribbean did mention Odyssey today, and they mentioned that date. So I would say as it stands right now, that is the plan. Could that change again? Clearly, we've seen Royal Caribbean say, listen, it's not the right time for it, and they may push back again, Anne Marie. But as of right now, it looks to be, she is going to debut in Europe. But again, that could be pushed back a little bit beyond that. So we'll have to wait and see. Pat says, please no singing. All right, no singing. No worries. Eric Swart, used all my extra cruise planner credits for an over-the-water cabana. Coco Key, October 21. Dude, you are going to love that one. Amazing. Michael Garcia really wants to go to Europe again. Carlos wants me to sing. I love hearing that off-kilter voice. Just leave it at that. April would love to do the full Panama Canal, but 15 days seems like a long time on a cruise. I think if you're going to go big or go home, you got to go for the whole thing. That's my thought on it. But Anne Marie, we were booked for Europe this September and then rescheduled for Odyssey for Europe. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I was scheduled for Odyssey in November, and then I rebooked it for her first sailing in North America in November of next year. Kim Oakland, a 2022 group cruise to Alaska sounds really good as well. Hey, listen, as you know, Kim, we do 2 group cruises a year, so you never know. Matt M, do you think Radiance will make dry dock later this year? I think so, Matt, and the reason why I say that is because, number one, it's not a dry dock like, hey, let's add a bunch of new features and like water slides. It's a technical refurb. It's just, changing the oil, so to speak, peeking under the hood. And in fact, we've already seen now Anthem of the Seas is actually getting her work done, the same kind of work right now. So yeah, that kind of maintenance work that needs for upkeep, absolutely. Sharon Stockman with an epic super chat. Woo! Group Cruise Christmas 2022. Sharon, this is my promise to you. If we do a group cruise over Christmas 2022, you will be the first person I tell, because I know that you are jonesing. No, there is a Jonesy, but not him. You are jonesing for a late December group cruise. Jay Wanderman would love to do it again, right? Kenny, I scheduled 2 different Disney Panama and got shot down 2 different times. What ships did they move around like that? Unfortunately, Royal Caribbean really doesn't do Panama canals because they don't offer cruises out of Los Angeles all that much. So, Jason, thinking about doing a Jeep tour Cozumel. Have you ever done one? I have not, Jason. Are you doing a excursion that's on Jeeps, or are you renting a Jeep to just tool around in? Keeping in mind, by the way, this may or not be an issue, but sometimes Jeeps in Cozumel and other places may be manual, which my generation never learned. I didn't learn to drive manual, but if you don't know how to drive manual, that just make sure that's not a thing. But if it's an excursion, sure, I think it's a great idea. I think it's a lot of fun actually to do that. But if you're renting a Jeep, I don't recommend it like just to tool around in. Mexico's laws are different than the U.S. Like in the U.S., if you get you get a fender bender, someone hits you hit somebody, a car, not a person, but you know what I mean. That's a civil issue, right? That's an issue between you and the other person. But if you get in a car accident in Mexico, it is a legal issue, and I have heard some horror stories from people about that have occurred to them. I'm not saying it's always going to happen. I'm saying it's going to happen to you, but just keep that in mind. And Jason, thank you for the super chat. Thank you. Can I speak some German? 9. Jason was going to do the excursion. Yeah, then do that, dude. As long as, just make sure one thing. The only thing you want to check is it automatic or manual? Again, that may or may not be an issue for you. It would be for me. Rory, what's up, dude? Do you think Royal Caribbean will ever use an Oasis concierge lounge? Class, I think what you mean. To do a long cruise, like at least 14 days. Well, transatlantics, yeah. Look, anything's possible, Rory, like, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, who knows? But I will tell you, Rory, that I think that for the time being, they are definitely in a sweet spot. Because you have to remember, this is one of these conversations where, again, I'm going to give you the answer. You're not going to like it, but this is the answer. The answer is they're doing 7-night cruises because in cruise out of North America, Americans do not want, and when I say Americans do not want, I say generally are unwilling to do cruises longer than a week, because most people that go on a cruise are people that are only going on for about a week. They're working, their families, maybe both, and Americans don't take vacations that long, right? Are there some people that do? Absolutely. They're retired, weird bloggers, right? We've got the time for it, but other people not so much. So it really is that sweet spot of being able to, charge a premium, fill that ship up, and obviously offer to guests what they're looking for. Not to say there weren't people who would be interested in those longer sailings, but it's not their bread and butter. It's not what's going to be that in that sweet spot financially for the company. So probably not the answer you're looking for. Keith Bruce, that's a meet and greet. What other activities you do in a group cruise? Oh yeah, dude, this is more than that, dude. We do podcast recordings. We'll do special excursions. We have done special excursions with people in the group. We will rent out certain venues on board the ship for people just in the group. There's usually about 1 or 2 events a day, and you can come as you go, Keith. You can come to one event. You can come to all the events on the cruise. But we have a lot of also impromptu events. As an example, one of my good friends, Christine O'Neill. She's been on a couple of group cruises, and Christine brings different, games that are really fun for group settings, and she'll just be like at the end of an event, like, hey, if anybody wants to, we're going to go play this game over here, and it's a lot of fun. It's just cool hanging out with other people who love cruising, right? So, if you've ever been in our chat and you said, that Tony Diaz, what a guy, I want to cruise with that guy, that's what it's all about, just hanging out. Joanne did a Panama Canal cruise on Holland, America. You were the youngsters that went into Gatton Lake and back out of the Atlantic. It was sweet as it started and ended in Fort Lauderdale. Wow, nice. That is really cool. I hate flying, and your son is not coming to pick me up, so sounds like a great idea. Q. Oh, man, boy, can I not read. Queen, the glamorous travel queen. If you were traveling Star Class at kids ages 11, 5, and 3, what would you ask the genie for? I'm looking for ideas because we're going on our first Star Class December 21. Have an ice cream social. Do an ice cream party in the suite. I think that's a great idea. Get ice cream, all the toppings, all the stuff in there. Let them go to town. No kid ever said, oh, Mom, ice cream. No, they like ice cream. I think it's a great idea. So that's what I would do. Cheryl, when is your prediction for baby Pool to be born? Boy, you might as well ask me when the cruise is. Actually, I would say, well, I think she's supposed to be induced next weekend, so I'm going to say something around there, but I'm not sure. Bayroad, do they sell the models of the ships in the gift shop? Yes, that's where you'll find the ship models on board the ship in the onboard shop over there. So, Terry, have you ever been on a cruise to Iceland? I have not. I would love to go there, but I've heard so many great things about it. Chances of seeing the Northern Lights, I think it has more, Terry, to do with the time of year than the fact you're in Iceland. The closer you can get to winter, whether you're at the very beginning of the season or the very end of the season, the better your chances. You have to go very far north, and of course you can't have that much light out, obviously. So if you're there in the middle of July, I don't think you're gonna have a good chance at that one. So, Glamorous Travel Queen, you are very welcome. Of course, happy to help. Good question, by the way. Really, really good one. Hope, not me. I like long cruises. I'm not a senior. I really like to do long cruises. I think there's probably a lot of people in this chat who definitely like long cruises, myself included, because we get it. We're cruise fans, but in the grand scheme of things, remember, you got to look at this from a big standpoint. You got to fill up a ship every week, every sailing. You got to fill that up, not just once, every sailing, and that's why 7-nighters are easier to manage, I should say, to turn around. It's just a sweet spot for American cruises, and to be perfectly honest with you guys, even if you go to Europe, even if you go to Australia, even if you go to China, you will see a lot of 7-night cruises. It's just it works in so well, right? Starts on a weekend, ends on a weekend. For most people, that's fine. And for people who want to do longer cruises, well, you can always do it back to back. Don't overlook that. In a lot of cases, in the Caribbean especially, ships will alternate itineraries. Western Caribbean, Eastern Caribbean, Western Caribbean, Eastern Caribbean. So you have an idea to check it out. Scott J spent 3 weeks in Iceland. Incredible. I would love to go there. It's one of my places. I mean, I heard it's super expensive to be in Iceland, but I got to get there. I want to try it out. I think it sounds amazing. So, Brian, 433 days to lure. Any indication if the amplification will happen before October next year? Brian, there's no indication as to when that may or may not happen. All amplifications, Brian, are on hold right now. They're on hold indefinitely until further notice. So, unfortunately, there's not really a way to know what your chances are of having it. I will tell you this, Brian. The sooner cruises start up again, the better your chances are, period. I think that's probably the best thing. The other thing going for you, Brian, is, of course, you do have a lot of time. You have more than a year. A lot can happen between now and then. So, if you're a betting man, I would say you're on the right side of the bet currently, as it stands. But, yeah. Hope wants to do Fiji. A lot of people love to have some type in chat right now. I'm gonna take this one step further because I saw Hope's message and some other people's messages there. What's your like bucket list cruise? Like what's your number one? If you could pick one itinerary that exists out there, whether it's Alaska, whether it's Panama Canal, whether it's Europe, whether it's just a cruise out of Florida, what is your bucket list cruise right there? Don't forget things Perfect Day Coco Key, guys, because that's yeah. Roy, what kind of hassle am I looking at if I wanted to book back-to-back cruises? Well, I don't know if anything will change with the, whole COVID stuff, but let's take that out of the equation. Roy, not much at all. I mean, it's really just 2 different reservations. They make it very easy, in fact. So, I don't think you'll have any issues there at all. Bayron betting all in for cruise April 21. Nice. All right, we just have votes here. So these are the bucket list ideas in the chat. Tahiti, Panama Canal, Alaska, Iceland, Med, Italy, Bermuda. That's a great, I've been there. Greece, around the world, Jane. Why not? New Zealand or Tahiti for Jared. Jenner's Tahiti as well. 5-Trip. What's up, 5-Trip? I haven't seen you in a while. Panama Canal, Europe, Switzerland. I'm pretty sure Switzerland, you can't go on a cruise ship. I might be the bearer of bad news. But there's no ocean there. It's landlocked. Robert, Arctic to see some polar bears. You guys why would you want to see polar bears? You already have koala bears. They're so cute. Sorry, Robert. I can't resist an Australia joke. You know that. British Isles for Don Goldstein. Sign me up for that one, my friend. I would love to do that, Brian. Or Brian, Don, whatever your name is. Brian, Don. Vanuatu, Hawaii, Alaska, Med. Yeah, Sharon says Med. Kim Oka, my perfect day cruises have all been canceled. Hope to get there sometime. I will tell you this, Kim. It may not be the most exotic place on earth. The perfect day Coco Key, well worth it. In fact, I gotta see if they have one. If there is a perfect day Coco Key poster, guys, I'm gonna run one of these posters. I'm putting that up instead because that's really cool. Does Switzerland have river cruises, Jane? I have no idea. But I can tell you that we're talking Royal Caribbean. They don't go there, unfortunately. Now, granted, you could fly to Switzerland, do a land little tour over there on your own, and then drive to Italy or something and pick up the cruise ship over there. So, Brian, Don, yeah, they're like it's like potato. The goat. Have you tried Perfect Days mozzarella sticks? Are they to die for? Yes, they're so good. dude, you guys know I rave about the crispy chicken sandwich, but the mozzarella sticks, they are very, very good. Very, very good. I love that. Love that. Kenny, I found a 13-day that was all Caribbean. Mexico, Honduras, ABC Islands, and Labadee. Wow. What ship was that on, Kenny? Mia, any recommendations for staying in a room with your wife and mother-in-law? Yeah, book another one. Book 2 rooms. Be like, you know what, mother-in-law? We love you so much. No, I want to pay for your room. I insist. You are such a great mother-in-law. Why should we? Why not? You deserve it. I'm going to give it to you. We're going to get you your own room on the other end of the ship. Yes, just for you. My treat. You're welcome. Oh, no, please. It's okay. All these years. There you go. That's what you should do. Mrs. Thomas, do you need a passport to go to Bermuda on a U.S. loop? Negative. You can go with a birth certificate. But Bermuda's really nice. Really, really nice. Jamie, better do a back-to-back on a short cruise or cruise over a long cruise. Whatever's longer, Jamie. You can make an argument for both, but if they got a perfect day, Jamie, you make a really good argument for the back-to-back one. Sharon Stockman, somebody... I don't know where you live, Sharon, but somebody go to Sharon and like duct tape her arms to her chair. I appreciate the generosity. I do not deserve this kind of generosity today, Sharon. But thank you, Sharon, for the epic super chat. Woo! When booking a back-to-back, book at the same time and use a travel agent. It's easiest if you book the same room for both weeks. Listen, what Sharon said, 100% right, as always. But I agree 100%. Use a travel agent, book the same. If you're going to do a back-to-back, you got to have both rooms. So going back to Jamie's question, if you can't get the same room, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it, but I'd be less likely to do it. Having the same room makes it so much easier. So yeah, absolutely the way to go. Rory, I'm so desperate for a cruise right now. How desperate are you? I'm so desperate for a cruise right now. I would sail from Port Canaveral to Fort Lauderdale. Brother, I'd go on a cruise. I'm so desperate for a cruise right now. How desperate are you? I'm so desperate for a cruise right now. I would go on a cruise that never leaves. Just sits at the port all day. Fine with me. As long as my drink package works, you know. Scott J, put the mozzarella sticks on the crispy chicken sandwich. Actually, they already do that. It's called they have a chicken parm. It's not on the menu. It's a secret menu item, and that's what they do. But even if it's on there, it's good to munch on. I love them. They're great. Mozzarella sticks, even if they aren't quite fresh anymore, they're kind of sitting around. They're still a good like munching snack. I don't know. Call me crazy, but a lot of people desperate for cruises as well. Absolutely, yes. Oh man. Jenners, they need to make it legal to cruise to nowhere. Yeah, I wish they would, Jenners. I'll be honest with you, I just don't see it happening. There's deep-rooted law that prevents that. And while I really wish they would change it, I just don't see it happening. So, yeah. Gigi, I'm so glad I went to Coco Key before the shutdown. It was amazing. Labadee was my favorite, but Coco Key is now my favorite. I agree with you 1,000%. I used to love Labadee. I used to tell people, Labadee or Coco Key? Labadee, come on, why not Labadee? But I will tell you, yeah, absolutely. Coco Key, amazing. Love it. It's my new favorite. No question about it. So, when would you resign if cruises don't come back? I have no idea what you mean by that, Carlos. Bayron, your last cruise was decommissioned in the USS Missouri. Wow. That's probably a long time ago, I'm imagining. So, all right, guys, I'm going to wrap things up here. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I got to say some thank yous to some very good friends for their support in this stream. Thank you, Sharon Stockman. Thank you, Jason Rivas. Thank you, Sharon Stockman again. Carlos, thank you for thank you for your support. Thank you, Soggy Frosted Flakes. Thank you, Virginia. Thank you, Kim Oakland. Thank you, Pooji. Thank you, Randy Patrick. Thank you, Mrs. Thomas and Sharon Stockman again. Thank you. Brandon Owen is here. Welcome, Brandon. There's an Independence of the Seas sailing later this year. They go to Coco Key and Labadee on a 5-night cruise. Let's book it, Brandon. I'm sure it's... Knowing Brandon, no offense, but you always find the cruises that I can't possibly go on because it's like, I don't know, someone's getting married or something's happening. But, all right, guys. Check out RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. There's lots of new blog posts up there today, so don't miss out on any of it. RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Guys, have a great week. Enjoy. Stay safe out there. Do something fun, and we'll talk again very soon right here on YouTube. Bye, everybody.